Hey buddy, it's Mike here. Today we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So this is the sequel to the Final Fantasy VII remake, which was an excellent game. I think they did the original Final Fantasy VII game justice. Now let's get right into the review. So this game takes place immediately after the original game. So as soon as they leave Midgar and the whole world opens up. And I was really excited to kind of see how they handled this part of the game because it's an open world rather than, in the remake, it was kind of restricted to Midgar. And this time they have the freedom for a huge open world. And just like you would see in any other open world game, you have the icons. They even have towers, which helps you see different, waypoints at different parts of the map, just like you would see like in a Assassin's Creed game, right? So you would have those towers. You have different world events like killing special monsters. So they have a lot more stuff to do in the open world, and the amount of side quests, there must be like 100 times more side quests. There's tons to do in this open world. I'm not saying the original remake, there was a lot to do, but this one, they really took it to the next level. And they've given you more options in terms of traversal. So now you can, run around in a chocobo, and there's a segment of the game where you actually go around in a vehicle. So really cool how they handled the whole open world style. So in this game, you have everything in the original, but they expanded on it. And for example, in combat, they added something really cool. It's called synergy abilities. And so basically what this is two of your teammates will have a special ability, and it's kind of works like a special attack where they kind of work together to deal some massive damage or whatever the case is. But it's really cool that they added that extra layer of combat. Otherwise, they didn't make any massive drastic changes, and I don't think they had to. The combat feels great. And you still have that great feeling of cycling between your different characters and using your different abilities, getting for those weaknesses. Just a great combat in general. And they added this new skill tree, which they call folios, but it's just a skill tree. And this skill tree, unlocks different things where you can make it so you can use special attacks without using any mana, for example, or just increase your health. So I really like the skill tree they had in this game. So they basically expanded on everything that they already had, which is great. But no, like I said, the synergy abilities really, you really got some cool attacks. Like for example, Barrett can throw Tifa in the air, and this helps Tifa reach those aerial units because she's not able to kind of reach them otherwise. So little things like that really help, expand on the combat. And I'm having a lot more fun with the combat. Not saying the original remake didn't have good combat, already did, but they just improved on it already. And the story obviously is great, from the side quests. Like I said, the side quest content is excellent, and you're going to have a lot of fun, doing little side quests for the citizens of this world. And, they're very well voice acted, so that was great. Although, my one comment here in terms of the story is so convoluted. They really would benefit if they were just more straightforward in how they tell the story. But there's stories where they do flashbacks, and it's a lot to wrap your head around. I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot. I know they wanted to change up the story, and there was new elements added into Final Fantasy VII Remake. So they even expanded on that even more, and this resulted in some confusion and even some more plot holes. So that's one thing that I didn't like. It would be a lot better if they were just more straightforward, rather than trying to have to figure everything out or, doing some research on your own. So, but otherwise, the storyline is just excellent, and it just expands on the original game. They really brought the locations from the original Final Fantasy game to life. For example, Costa del Sol, so that's kind of like your seaside resort. And then the Golden Saucer, that was a lot of fun. There's tons of little mini games there. Now, speaking about mini games, this is my next little complaint about this Final Fantasy game. I find they have a lot of filler, and I really mean when I say that. Like, I remember in the original remake game, you would be holding triangle to open a door or something, or it's so unnecessary, some of this filler, right? And in this game, there's even more of that, and some. So and for example, you know, there's a part in the game where you're at Costa del Sol, and you have to get on the beach in order to progress the main storyline. But to get on the beach, you have to get beach attire, and to get beach attire, you have to do little fetch quests, like, you know, collecting scooters, for example. And I find this, you know, this was very uninspiring, and you know, it just gets kind of boring when you're doing these little, you know, side tasks that are not very meaningful in terms of the overall story. So there's a lot of that in this game, unfortunately, and it really affects the pace of the game. And I know Costa del Sol was one I particularly remembered because I was, you know, there was one, you're just running around trying to take pictures of these cactuses, and it was just a time waste, in my opinion. I didn't get any enjoyment out of it at all. Yeah, so that's my one biggest complaint of the Rebirth, is just the amount of filler. But when you get really into it, and just the straight combat and how they design the story and the characters, it's just an excellent package overall. So I can't really like hold those moments against the overall package. So you're definitely going to get your value out of this one for sure, in terms of just overall gameplay. You're going to pour tons of hours into it, so lots of value to be had in this one. And they really expand on all the characters. They not only bring in new playable characters you can have in combat, like Red X or Yuffie. They expand on each character, and they take their time to, you know, to really develop them, and I really like that. You know, characters like Barrett really come to life and shine, whereas, you know, the remake was great, but they didn't get nearly as deep into the characters and their motivations and some of their history. So I really appreciated that aspect of this game. And this, just overall, you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna get tons of value. I must have put over 100 hours in this, so you know, you can do the math per hour. I like for every $5 I play, I want to at least get 1 hour of gameplay. You're gonna get that and some, so tons of value. And just the massive open world. Even when you beat the game, you're gonna want to continue exploring, and there's tons of stuff I haven't done, tons of side quests, and so for you completionists out there, there's tons of content for you to enjoy. And not to mention the voice acting and just the awesome music you would expect. It's just a great overall package. And following the footsteps of games like The Witcher 3, you have your in-game card game. So this kind of gives you that extra activity, and each town has different challengers, and you have to collect different cards. So I thought that was pretty cool. I myself didn't have way too much fun with this. I don't know what it was, but it didn't connect with me. But I know a lot of other people are having fun with it, and it gives you that extra thing to do. And you know, you're gonna face different challengers, and you get different rewards. So I think that's a great feature, and it's just one more thing they added in the open world. Now, if you ask me personally, am I going to recommend Rebirth? I'm going to say yes. If anything, I think this might even be a contender for Game of the Year, just with how much value you're going to get and how deep the storyline gets. You know, I really think they did the original Final Fantasy VII game justice with this game. Although the storyline can get confusing at times, you end up looking past it, and overall I think it's an excellent game, and I highly recommend it. And highly recommend you pick it up. You're gonna get tons of value. Like I said, way easily over 100 hours, and I didn't even do all the side quests, so definitely recommending that. And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Please leave a comment. I'd like to hear your reviews or just overall thoughts on the game. And if I'm gonna put a rating on it, I'm gonna give it an easy 9.5 out of 10, and this is definitely a contender for Game of the Year. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't checked out my channel, please consider checking it out, and please subscribe to support the channel. I provide the latest game reviews and the most honest reviews so that you, the viewer, can make the most educated purchase decision with your money. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.